Hi, hello, hello. Hi, Diana, how are you? I don't know if it's...
Hello again.
There you are. That's
Let's get
better.
back so I can speak and not, you know, take off that mute button. How are
Oh,
you?
bless you. Hi, Merry Christmas to
Merry,
you.
Merry Christmas. My goodness. What
Oh,
a December, right?
I know, I know, I know. It's been crazy. Welcome, everybody, to our catch-up, wrap-up episode of the year. I'm Dr. Nupi, the glitter practitioner, and for those of you who don't know me, I'm a family physician, a GP, general practitioner in the UK, and I'm also a spiritual and transformation life coach. I'm running a coaching program, Find Your Fizz and Flourish, which is based on my F-list framework, which I created, gosh, how long has it been? 12 years ago, something like that, through my recovery from burnout. And you can find me, hashtag the glitter practitioner, hashtag Fizzessence. And Diana, tell everybody a little bit about you.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm a urologist in Los Angeles. I'm the founder of physiciancoachsupport.com. It's a free and confidential platform for any physician to get support by a colleague who's a peer and also a certified life coach. Everybody there is a volunteer, and we're really there 7 days a week via Zoom. You can easily go to the site, make an appointment so easy, and just talk to a colleague about anything, any challenge you're going through, any funk you're feeling that you want to discuss. So when you talk to somebody, you kind of release that emotional charge, or they can help you view things a little bit differently. And then it just really can kind of get you out of that spinning thoughts that, are not moving you forward. So we're there. We know holidays can be challenging, triggering. And so we want to just always be there, but definitely right now in the holidays when we're feeling sort of that heaviness or the triggering or, just those feelings of overwhelm.
Yeah, I think that's it's amazing what you've set up, by the way. I mean, obviously, I'm one of your biggest fans, but I'm so glad you mentioned that because I think this time of year specifically can be, you're really having to, there's so many things to think about. And, I'm just talking from personal experience now, really, of just having a bit of a crappy month, to be honest, and trying to get everything done and not being well. And then the kids not being well, Al not being well. And it's just everything just feels so, oh my goodness. And it's not all sparkly and roses and, oh yeah, everything's fabulous and all of this. And it can really take its toll on your physical health, the way you feel, and then it just drags you down. Yeah, it's not been easy. um I think the most important thing is that you be kind to yourself, and I just had to sort of go, okay, I'm not well, there's nothing I can do apart from rest. I'm going to get better a lot quicker if I stop putting all this pressure on myself. So my F off, focus, breathe, and flip came in very handy, I must say. But even so, it's difficult when you're going through it, you know.
No, I love that. And I think, what we preach is also what we practice. I mean, I think you
Yeah.
mentioned that is, what do we do when we're going through challenges?
Mm-hmm.
What are we using to get us through, to get us to the other side? Because I think, yes, we all go through things. And for me too, December has been back to back to back to back of viruses for my kids who are in school that bring something new every 2 weeks. So just when we're getting better, again another virus, just feeling totally drained, wiped out, physically from a virus. And my voice keeps going out every 2 weeks when I'm trying to do these podcasts or all these speaking engagements. It's challenging, and you physically, when there's a virus or something, or when there's challenges, overwhelm, a lot of things to do, you physically feel tired. So
Mm.
I think what has helped me, this month, 6 weeks really has been, okay, what's going on? Is this something physical? Is this something mental? Because it could be either one, whether physically
Mm-hmm.
affecting you mentally or mentally is affecting you physically. So to me has really been a month of, okay, let's get all my checkups, get all my blood tests routine to make sure there's nothing else happening. This is not medical advice, but we have to realize thyroid problems, sugar problems,
Yeah.
vitamin D levels, all these things can affect you physically and mentally. So we want to make sure that that's okay. So get all those basic routine tests done. Get all your screen tests, whether it's your mammogram, your pap smear, your colonoscopy, your PSA for prostate cancer. Just get all those basic things. And then, hopefully if that's all okay, then we got to go to the basics. And it's like sleep, especially if you're having virus after virus or feeling overwhelmed, you got to rest enough, during those times. You got to give yourself that grace, that compassion to rest. It just has to be part of it. And some things are going to have to wait. And you're going to have to rest. You got to eat stuff that nourishes you, not just eating just to eat, but like what's going to be nourishing. That's really important. Are you still exercising or moving? Because sometimes when you're feeling sick from a virus, then you're maybe not exercising, and that makes it worse because you're just not moving. So understanding that maybe you need a little downtime, but give yourself that grace of like not judging, like I'm not doing enough, I'm not exercising because you just don't feel well. And then just continue, just breathing, like that focusing, whether your meditation practice, a yoga practice, just continue that. Because if you don't, it's only going to make it worse, but you want to continue it. And reaching out to friends, to colleagues, just saying, I need help, or what do you think is going on? Or, do you think something I need to look at that I haven't thought about? Just really, reaching out to those friends or their colleagues and just let them know, yeah, I'm not feeling my usual peppy self, but that too shall pass too.
Yeah.
Kind of going through it, it's going to pass. It's just this month, or, all these things happening, but it's going to pass. And not getting so caught up on like what it's going to mean, but just letting it pass. I think that has been really helpful for me, and just realizing, it's not all cheery. You don't always feel well physically. There's a sickness or something else, but it's going to pass. And so again, that compassion is so important. Letting go of all these expectations that maybe you have in yourself and allowing things to pass.
Absolutely. I think it's difficult. Sorry, 1 second. Excuse me. I'm on at the minute, please. Thank you. Sorry about that. This is real life TV.
Yes. We get some tapping, we get some movement, we get some music. That's okay. It happens. That's okay. Sometimes you disappear from the screen. That's okay. But I think it's so important to really tap into these things, because this is real life. Like things happen, we get sick, people tap, there's music, people photobomb. It just happens. It's just real life. We gotta be real with what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, bless you. But no, everything, I so hear what you're saying. And I think a couple of things that you said, which is so important, no matter what's going on really, is being kind to yourself and not being your own worst enemy almost. Because when you're stuck in that funk and that cycle of, oh my God, it's me, I failed. Oh my gosh, I'm not doing enough. I should be doing this. I should be doing that. All the should start appearing. All the need tos start appearing. And it's taking that step back, isn't it? And just going, okay, accepting what's going on, how you might be feeling, or what might be going on in the circumstances around you, acknowledging it rather than, I know I'm terrible at this, sort of pushing it down, pretending it's not happening, being it was Ina, being just an emu almost, or an ostrich even, burying your head in the sand, and then just sort of allowing yourself to go, okay, I give myself this grace, and asking for help, or asking yourself, what needs are not being met here? What could I do? What could I ask somebody else for? And it's that awareness, isn't it? It's really being in tune with your whole self needs. And the tapping, by the way, was my daughter, Ina. I just saw your message. Making dinner in the background is what she was doing. And I'm literally doing this going, Okay, can you please stop?
But lovely. That's see, you are outsourcing. You're getting help. They're helping you with dinner. I mean, that's fantastic.
Yeah, totally. They're 14 now, for heaven's sake. You know, come on.
Yeah, but it's so important, like that awareness. Like I'm feeling this, and in the holidays too, we can feel like loneliness or grief,
Mm,
or sometimes anger too. I mean, these are just real things that are happening
yes.
because we're getting triggered, and it's just
Yeah.
realizing, okay, what does that mean? Like, why am I
Mm,
feeling that? I think in holidays too, we have that grief or that
mm,
sadness, and it's sort of like saying like, well, I am, kind of, there's some remorse to the past. You wish, you should, the shoulds, and the I wish it would have been different, and
mm,
you sort of live in the past a little bit.
mm,
But we got to reframe it, that we've got to really,
mm.
live in the present. Realize we're resisting something, like you wanted something to be a certain way and is not the way you had dreamed about it or thought about it in your mind. But then it's sort of just accepting it, that some things sometimes they are like what they are. You can't go back to the past and change it,
Yeah.
but you can at the moment really think about like, well, what can I do? What can I focus? How can I just grow from whatever happened? And realizing that we got to give ourselves compassion and others that maybe acted in the way you didn't want it to. But we're all trying our best with the tools that we have,
Yeah.
with the skills that we have. And we have to realize, like, it's a human experience, that we are not perfect, that we may say things or act in ways that maybe we didn't want, or maybe we did do it purposely. But we have to give other people grace,
Yeah.
without really truly being in the in any situation where it's dangerous to you, or abusive to you. You have to step out of that, but
Mm,
within that, giving a little boundary, say, I just don't want to be in the situation where it's not helpful for me, but I give you grace, and I forgive the fact that you said this or didn't do this, and I just
mm,
forgive you. It doesn't mean you have to be there, but you just have to forgive and like let
mm.
go of these emotions.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Um, and especially around this time, to pick up on what you were saying about anger, actually, you know, people's emotions can be all over the place. You add the mix of lack of sleep, pressure, stress, trying to get everything perfect, dynamics with families as well, which aren't always perfect and which are triggering the whole time, perhaps. And it's the coping mechanism somebody might be using, which then makes your emotion regulation worse. Alcohol, this, just in denial, for example, all these things. And it's not okay. And it's tough for so many people. And I think it's allowing yourself to go, okay, this is not okay. I need help, or there is help out there. And that's what I would always keep reiterating, that reach out, ask for help if you feel that you're struggling. And there are so many contacts. I know in obviously in the States, we've got for physicians, we've got your organization, so many things. Same here, but it's having that safe space for yourself, isn't it? And yeah, it can be tough for so many people.
Yeah, and when there's anger, I feel there's always, you feel like there's an injustice, or there was a need that was not met. So then
Yeah.
you get angry, but
What's
anger is
behind
good.
it?
Yeah, it's good because it's an alert that tells us
Mm,
something's not right. But the thing is, when we hold on to that and we
mm,
don't have that forgiveness, what happens is, I read this quote that was so beautiful about how Buddha described anger, just
yeah.
saying that how it's like picking a burning ember and
Yeah.
trying to, with your bare hands, grab it and throw it at somebody else. Before it does damage to anybody else, it's really going to damage you,
Yes.
because holding on
Yeah.
to the anger,
Yeah.
it's really, really heavy within you. So again, it's about realizing that somebody maybe has an unmet need.
Mm-hmm.
There's something that they feel was an injustice, but really coming from like the angle of love and forgiveness, and just kind of being curious, like what's going on,
Yes. Well
because
done.
sometimes it's like a misunderstanding, like they
Yeah.
felt something should have been a different way, and when you get curious and ask what's going on, you start peeling all those layers
Yeah.
to get to hopefully like, the misunderstanding, the place where they felt it was not just, it was not right, and really, just getting to a better place. And if we can't get there, if this is kind of really deep things, really reaching out to therapists, to, physician, to coach, to really help you, break down all these things that are surfacing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think something you said then, it's about asserting your needs as well, and being aware of how you might be communicating. And also it's about assumptions. That's what I wanted to say. Somebody else won't always understand what you're saying. For example, they can't mind read. And I think it's being clear. It's about communication is what I wanted to say. It's communication and meeting in the middle.
And I think we were kind of talking about that with the holidays for you for this month.
Yeah.
You were, really having that. I mean, like, I think it's important for people to know, okay, this is real. I mean, we go through this. How did you then get sort of through these challenges, maybe with miscommunication or, really kind of meeting in the middle so you could move on when you were feeling all the pressure and things to do for the holidays?
Yeah.
How did you kind of get through that, get you to a different place?
So I guess what I just sort of, I took a real step back, actually, is what I did. And I recognized I'm not sleeping. I was feeling really poorly. And I was assuming and then believing what I was almost thinking in my own head. Whereas the reality was actually quite different. And once I expressed, this is how I'm feeling, then we had a heart-to-heart conversation as opposed to words just sort of coming out, which, it was just getting my back up and also Al's back up. So I think that's what worked for me. And I think it's going back to your heart space, isn't it? And questioning what's behind this, what's truly behind this, and then taking it from there. And having the courage as well, actually, to broach this. That takes courage, and it's knowing that you have that space to do so.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think courage is sort of that bridge, that key to get you from where you're in fear, where you're angry, where you're in grief, when you're in feeling these things that we all feel. But how do you kind of get through it, up to it? And it really, courage is really that
courage.
Key. And with the courage has to be some love for yourself, compassion for yourself or for the other. And then that's how you can approach it. Because if you approach that communication, not with love, but with anger, and you continue that, it really is not going to get to a good place. And again, we make up all these movies in our head thinking this is how things are, or how you think they're thinking about the situation. But,
you go off on your own tangent. It just spirals.
A whole movie you make, and then you realize that truly is not even how people are perceiving things.
Yeah.
And when you express it, you're like, oh, okay, I had no idea you were feeling this. And, maybe I'm sorry you were feeling that. I had no idea. Like, maybe how can I help you? Or what can we do? And so communicating those needs, and then really doing it from praise and love, I think is important. Yeah, that courage is that key of really being there. And I think sometimes when we're going through all of this, it's always helpful to sort of step back, or maybe do that eagle's view, realize like you're not the only person in the world that is having this. Maybe it's a challenge with your spouse or things like that. I just had lunch with one of my friends from college that I hadn't seen in like 25 years. And he was just sharing how, he's been married for 15 years. He's like, marriage is challenging, it is not easy. And there were some times where I thought I really were not going to make it. And it is a challenge. It's something you have to put work in. It just doesn't happen. And when, he was sharing it, I wasn't even asking. He's sharing this with me. I'm like, you just feel like, oh, okay, I'm not the only person that is not fairies and unicorns, because it is challenging. Like there's so many components to marriage and the kids and the family and your own things that we have and work and kids, all that. So we're all imperfect beings trying our best, and then we come together. So when you realize you're not the only person that may be dealing with that, it just kind of makes you feel like, oh, okay, like
I'm not the only one. Yeah,
and I'm human,
absolutely.
right? Like
Absolutely.
I'm not like a perfect person that is having everything just go perfectly, because it's just not going to be the reality.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that also comes with being aware when you're sort of looking and comparing. And it's the natural human thing to do, isn't it? It's like, oh, they have such a perfect life. And oh gosh, this all looks picture perfect. You don't know what's going on behind the scenes at all. And it's a work in progress always. And I think it becomes easier once you are in tune with yourself, actually, and are able to express, okay, this made me feel a certain way, and this is how I'm feeling. That comes without the accusatory tone, without the you made me feel like this. Well, hold on a sec. Your emotions were yours. But expressing how you feel, expressing what could be missing, perhaps, it just sets the tone of what happens next. You're going to have a more fruitful conversation. This could be, I'm not just talking about in a relationship with your partner. This could be for in work related stuff, conflict. It's I guess it's expressing yourself authentically as well, and asserting your needs.
Yeah, I think when you come from this is what I feel, it's not a defensive opposition like you and I against each other. Just like you can't fight with somebody's feelings. If somebody tells you this is how I feel, you can't say, oh no, you don't feel that. Of course, that is your feeling that you're having when you express it. It's less defensive conversation. You're just really coming from a place of this is what I feel, and then like then they can be a little more receptive without feeling this is something you have to be like fighting you, and again you said that, and pointing fingers, because that really, people don't react well to that. So coming from whether you
defenses up, don't you? Automatically it's like, hold on a minute, la 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 la, and you just go poof, poof, back. So yeah,
it's so important too. I mean, realize especially holidays during time, just really truly asking people how they are, because Instagram, any social media, it has nothing to do with reality. And we recently saw these suicides from people that are in the media with fantastic and dancing, and then it's just like that. People are struggling, and whatever the facade is on social media or anywhere else. It's not really how people truly may be feeling or dealing with things inside. And it's so important to ask your colleagues, your friends, how are you feeling? How are you doing? And ask maybe a couple of times.
Yes.
Like, no, truly how you're doing.
Truly, yes.
What's going on?
There's one thing asking the question, and it's another thing opening up your heart and holding that space to hear what they want to say. So many times, I can recall, how are you? And then somebody goes, that's it. Oh, I'm okay. Really? That's what I always say is, truly, are you?
Yeah. What's going on?
Just, keep at it. If you're feeling a gut feeling, then definitely. And if not, if you're going to ask the question, hold that space. And I think holding space, listening in from your heart is one of the most precious gifts you can give to somebody. And I've been on the receiving end of that I've had that for myself, and it truly is precious. And there's no judgment attached. There is just this pocket of time where you can express. So I think asking, reaching out, and actually being curious around the people who who are around you, I should say, and just checking in on them. I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah, definitely. If you haven't heard from somebody a couple of days,
Yeah.
how are you?
Yeah.
If you haven't heard from you, what's going on? How are
Yeah.
you truly? And
Yeah.
also, sprinkling throughout really the day or your interactions, telling people how you appreciate them. I think it goes
Yes.
so far.
Yes.
Especially anybody right now in the holidays for people that are in medicine, somebody, a patient or a colleague telling you, I appreciate you.
Yeah.
It's like,
Means the world.
this means like
Yeah.
we're all trying. And again, we may have all these other things during the holidays. And then when somebody says that, it just really makes you feel like, wow, I'm valued.
Yes.
I appreciate such gratitude from somebody,
Yeah.
and that kindness
Yes.
when we are all like having things that, come up for all of us. So I think if you are a patient, if you're talking to a friend, just say, I really appreciate you, or just like what you can be more specific too. That always goes a long way. I think that's just a great way to sort of set an intention. And we were talking earlier about intentions, like
Yeah.
what are intentions for the coming year, because it's coming. And so what are we going to do for setting that intention for 2023 and beyond? So I'm curious how you're thinking about this new year and your intentions for the year.
Oh, well, first of all, I want to say I am so grateful that we connected and we have the friendship that we do. It's more than a friendship, and I'm so grateful for you. I just wanted to say that. So thank you. I really do mean that.
No, I appreciate it. I mean, it really, being when somebody says how they appreciate you, just like you did now. I mean, it really just, you feel that it goes through the screen, it goes through, the microphone. You just feel that, like, oh, and again, I really truly appreciate it. I'm so grateful we have and come together from the pond across the pond, because it just shows that these things are universal.
Yes.
It doesn't matter where you are. We can all connect, discuss, and try to help each other realize we're not alone feeling this. We're not alone when we feel overwhelmed in this, but like what's our checklist that we go through so we can get through. And I'm going to share some of the things I kind of did for this month, but really just realize it's just like a wave. It's going to pass. It won't pass, but stay connected, stay reaching out to friends, really tell, this is my needs, this is what I'm feeling, and have that compassion that sometimes it just is what it is. Don't make anything about it. Don't start comparing and judging. What are they doing? What am I doing? Just be still.
Be
Exactly. And just be in it. And the next day will come, and it's just another day, and be grateful for the next day, because every day is not promised. So we got to just be grateful we're here. Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down, but we just keep going. We just stay grateful. We stay, with an intention of, being
love. It's
Mhm.
unconditional. It's love, isn't it?
Mhm.
That's the most powerful, energetic vibration going, and that's the whole thing. It's towards self, and then that overspills, and just spreading it out. And to answer your question, what intentions am I setting? So I am setting the intentions of really honing in and giving myself time and grace, appreciating when I think I get into this trap sometimes of I don't even realize what I've done or accomplished, because it's just happening around me and I'm loving it, and everything's, I've got different projects lined up, and just taking stock and recognizing what's gone into that. And also travel. That's what I'm setting my intention for, because I can't wait to come to the States. I can't wait to meet you in real life. I can't wait to get on my glitter bus tour. That's going to make it happen, essentially.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, it's so important to, celebrate your wins. I mean, that's what you're saying. Sitting and celebrating, like, how far have I come? What, is it, we always feel like it's not enough, but when you look back and you realize, like, all this happened, and we have to like kind of pat ourselves in the back and
Yes.
celebrate and just realize like, all the stuff that you have done and you continue to do and build. And it's just one day at a time. And your journey is different than somebody else's and somebody else's, but you got to stay true to you. If the velocity has to be slower, well, that's okay, because that's what's true. And that's what comes from you.
Yeah.
If it's faster, it's faster. I mean, it's just not a competition in that sense, because when we start kind of seeing things and try to achieve things from a different energy,
Pressure.
it doesn't ever evolve, the way we want it, because it's coming from a different energy. It's like, this is, what I'm going to achieve today or this week, and I'm okay. And why am I doing it? Really thinking about like, for this year, like, what am I doing and why am I doing all these things? Maybe reprioritizing things, maybe changing things, maybe making adjustments, I think is an important thing to do at the beginning of the year or at the year ends. Like, how do I want to prioritize this year? What changes do I want to make? What is working? What hasn't been working?
Exactly.
And it's just sort of like a scientific experiment. Like, take this out, add this in. This didn't work. What else can I do differently? To get a different result, if that's what you want. I think these slower months, when things are a little slower in some ways, it's just time for reflection and thinking.
Take stock.
That awareness and
Yes.
reprioritizing things, without the shame, without the guilt, without the should have done this. Just just be loving to you. And I think that's important, to just give yourself kindness, because it's very easy for us to beat ourselves down or judge ourselves of not doing this or this. And just having that compassion, I think is huge to get you through.
Yeah, and that's how we started this conversation, really, isn't it? We've exactly that. We've come full circle, and I think it's having that awareness. It's acknowledging what you might be feeling, but being true to yourself and taking it from there. Wow, that was amazing. Thank you for this wonderful discussion. Tell everybody how they can get hold of you as we wrap up.
Yes. So as the year goes on, if anybody wants to reach out to get more information about what I do, speaking about all these topics, reach out to my website, dianalondonomd.com. Definitely, if you're a physician or you know of a physician that could use some support, free and confidential, go to physiciancoachsupport.com. Hundreds of physicians have used it. It really has gotten them to a better place. And that's what we got to do, something to shift our mindset a little bit, let go of that emotional attachment so you can just feel lighter and feel like you're not alone, because you're not. And this is, again, free and confidential. So reach out, or on any platform, Diana Londoño MD, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Twitter. And again, just get support. It's out there for physicians. You're not alone. So, and Nupi?
So you can find me on LinkedIn pretty much. All my contact details will be down here anyway. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, The Glitter Practitioner. I am, as I said before, running my coaching program, which you can book a conversation with me, have a chat. If you're struggling, if you're feeling frazzled, if you're feeling overwhelmed, book a call. It's all confidential and free. Just reach out. And to reiterate exactly what you've said, you're not on your own. Your needs matter, and it's understand what your needs are, take ownership of them, and protect them, and just keep track on how you're feeling and be led by that. So yes, I think that's what I would like to say as a roundup.
And just join us in 2 weeks. We're going to have amazing, guests coming up. We're going to have Eric Desner, who is the founder of MedMike, talking about creativity, really to start the year with creativity, writing, poetry, art.
Love it.
So many things that really are going to get us to that next year with excitement. So stay tuned. It's going to be an amazing year. We have great lineup. And thank you for watching, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Happy New Year to everybody. Bye.